Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and rise to make a few brief comments about Bill 1, and then we'll be proposing an amendment, which I hope would the government would agree would improve the bill. In general terms, I think that taking steps to expand Alberta's energy industry in any way are always a positive thing. It is interesting that in this legislation doesn't really do a whole lot that the minister can't already do, and so I have some concerns that the bill itself is somewhat redundant, that it's really more of a showpiece bill, as Bill 1s occasionally can be, and really allowing the government more to promote a particular political agenda rather than actually do some substantive legislating. However, having said that, it does give us an opportunity to improve upon what is already in the bill. One of the things that I think is important is that noting that Alberta has benefited greatly from the energy industry through our history, that benefit has not always been evenly distributed through our province, be that geographically or socially. And so one of the things I think is important is that we use whatever funds that are generated from a bill like this, using a portion of those to ensure that everyone around the province, those in underrepresented groups, and both geographically defined and otherwise, have an opportunity to participate. So given that, I will pause briefly and hand out this amendment to the page. The original is on top.
A2.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I move that Bill 1, Energy Diversification Act, be amended in Section 2, Sub 1 by striking out Clause E and substituting the following. Encourage increased participation and leadership from underrepresented groups and geographic communities in the energy sector, and. So right now, the current Section E reads, encourage increased participation, and sorry, I'll just back up and read the Section 2, Sub 1. 2 Sub 1, the minister shall establish programs that have the primary purpose of supporting economic growth and energy diversification, including without limitation programs that, and then we get down to E, it says encourage increased participation for underrepresented communities in the energy sector. And that's great, encouraging participation from underrepresented communities in the energy sector. What my bill would do, or what my amendment would do, is expand that out beyond increasing participation and leadership, not just participation, but active leadership from underrepresented groups and geographic communities. And so I think that's an important distinction. It's not a huge difference in terms of what the government bill currently has, but it is expansive, I think, and perhaps better representative of what the minister is going to do. I will note that the bill itself it says the words without limitation in 2 Sub 1, so certainly the minister is not limited just to this list, but there is a list all the same. And so given that, I think it's important that if we're going to name names, one of the first things I was taught when I went into public office is that when you give a speech, if you're going to name names, be sure you get absolutely everyone, or name no one because you're almost certain to offend. So in this case, the government has chosen to name some names and list different groups or different things that the minister may do without, although saying without limitation, the minister shall establish programs that have the primary purpose. So the minister has gone and named these names, and I think in doing that, there's some great things here, but it is perhaps not as comprehensive as it could be. So the intent here behind my amendment is to simply improve the bill by expanding out some of the wording. And you know, as we move in Alberta in our energy industry to satisfy the world's energy needs, be they hydrocarbon-based or other, We're in this province on the cutting edge in many ways of developing new ways to harvest, to store, distribute, and manage energy. That gives us tremendous opportunity to develop value-added industries in new parts and different parts of the province that perhaps historically have not simply had the blessing of having those natural resources immediately adjacent. That's going to inspire, I hope, a new generation of energy researchers from different communities in Alberta than have historically participated, in different groups, including Indigenous groups, that have not been full participants in energy industry, Alberta's energy industry so far. So the intent here is to do a better job by including diverse geographic communities in energy diversification, diverse cultural communities especially, and with enthusiasm, Indigenous communities. So I would hope the government sees merit in this amendment and would encourage all members of the Assembly to support it. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.